Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the third episode of the Main Event Mafia podcast. I am your host, Mr. Perfection himself, God's greatest creation, Lakota Carter. I'm here with my underboss, the main man, John freaking Niffen. How are you doing this week, man?
Doing good. Got early Friday off. This week's been kind of busy at work, so yeah, I'm enjoying my weekend.
That's good, man. Off topic wrestling, but I was at a gas station today. I had a meeting and I finally found Sprite plus tea. Um, and it's a knockoff brisk.
Yeah, my mother-in-law bought me one the other day. I'd been see because I'm a big time soda enthusiast. When the new
Yeah, me
stuff
too.
comes out,
Yeah,
I'm
me
the
too.
first one that wants to get my hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'd been seeing it for months and months and months, and I hadn't seen it. Well, then my mother-in-law brought me one home. I think it's really good.
It is good, but like I'm a big tea fan, right?
Yeah.
And so I've had a lot of tea in my lifetime, short lifetime, but I've had a lot. This tastes like a brisk mixed with a Sprite, and that's all it is.
Yeah, I'm on the lookout for the Dr. Pepper Creamy Coconut. They had it out last year.
Let me tell you something. Oh, put that with some I don't know if you're a drinker, but put it with some Malibu. Ooh.
Yeah, I haven't really. My wife and I, we've been married for going on 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we took a bottle of champagne with us on our honeymoon, and I've never been a champagne drinker, but we did it just because. And other than that, I haven't really had a drink in 5 years.
Golly, man, I love me some adult beverages. But let's get on to what happened this past weekend. You weren't here for the recap episode. You had your son's graduation. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks, bro.
Um, so how did you feel about Money in the Bank at a whole,
Oh my.
and did it frustrate you?
Well, let's see what match card. What do we had
We kicked off with a women's Money in the Bank.
the women's Money in the Bank.
Yep.
Naomi, I was happy Naomi won it. I think she deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Her characters really reminded me of her character she had in TNA, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
Um, I'm hoping it works out for her. I'm hoping it's not one of those failed cash-ins. Um, did I did I really want her to win? Eh. I'm trying to remember exactly who was in the match. Naomi, Steph,
Roxanne.
Roxanne was the one I was pulling for, but she's going to get her opportunity. I think
Bro,
she's going
they
to
are
win.
pushing her to the moon
Yeah,
already. So
I think she's going to be the one to win the Queen of the Ring. I have that feeling.
I would like to see that. I'm a big Roxanne fan. So you had Roxanne, Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vecker, Naomi. Shit, who
Liv,
else
what wasn't Liv in there too?
was living the Money in the Bank? Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was.
Yeah.
Yeah, her and Rhea, like they're two of the top women right now.
Hmm.
But I think they've had their fair share of titles, so I think it's time. Because see, I'll touch on this when we get to the men's match as well. But
Hmm.
to me, the briefcase is kind of like a beacon for not so much new talent, but ones that deserve a shot.
Yeah,
Rhea and Liv have had their shot. They're going to eventually get their other shot, but right now let's let the newcomers have their spotlight.
yeah. I completely agree. Like, growing up, I mean, me and you are in two different generations. Uh, you're the old head. You're the unk when it comes to wrestling. So, growing up for me, Money in the Bank was always not necessarily, to give it to somebody that needs a world title, but it projectiled somebody to that main event status. The first person I think of when I think of the Money in the Bank, the two people I think of is Edge and The Miz. Um, because that really solidified their characters as these top guys was that briefcase. Which Edge was already kind of a top guy, but it kind of gave him that rated R feeling. You know what I mean? It gave him his nickname in a
Well,
sense.
well, it's kind of like and it's weird comparing the two, but it's kind of like the Daniel Bryan situation. Um, they were, him and Edge were top guys, but nobody was wanting to take their chances on them.
Mhm.
With Edge, it worked out. Whether Triple H didn't or Vince didn't want to push him for some odd reason, I don't know. I guess he had his doubts. I think with Edge's career in the WWE, I think he's proven that he was that guy.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of similar to Daniel Bryan's story. They used that whole authority storyline, and they were always calling him a B player, which, excuse me, in a way, I think he was a B player. Do I think he was heavyweight champion material? I don't want to face any backlash, but
Some would argue he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. So be careful
yeah,
with your words here.
no. I'm not saying he's bad. I mean, at the time, I just don't think it was his time. I mean, at the time they were pushing him, you had Punk, who was the top guy in the company. Um, but it is what it is. I'm with you on the Money in the Bank. The Edge and CM Punk, Dolph Ziggler are them guys, that I look at when I hear Money in the Bank. I mean, you got the very few that I think was a waste of air given the briefcase to Otis was one, unfortunately.
Jack
Um,
Swagger.
Swagger. Um,
I wouldn't
who
say
else?
Sandow. Sandow was over. He just didn't
That,
win the
yeah,
belt.
Sandow's just another one of those things, like kind of like what LA Knight is right now. He's one of the top guys, and they're totally backfiring on pulling the trigger with
Oh,
him.
we'll talk about Barry in here in a minute because me and you got.
Oh,
Oh, we'll
brother.
talk about it here in just a minute. But
Eh.
overall, you were happy with the result of
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, the women's match, yeah. What else did we have other than the men's and the Jey Uso in the match? What
Uh,
other?
so we'll go. I'll ask you. Did you watch Worlds Collide or no?
No, I was we were doing my son's
Graduation party.
graduation party. Yeah.
hmm It was a decent show, but I'm sure you watched the episode with Andrew, or listened to it. It's up on Spotify if you guys haven't already.
Yeah, I did. I listened to it at
Um,
work.
the one of my biggest problems with that show, and I'll say it again, everybody stood around when there was high spots, and it looked like fucking idiots. They just stood there. Oh, you're gonna jump on me. Hold on. Oh, let me stand
Yeah.
here. Like, no, don't do that. Um, but I think the standout person from that show was Chad Gable. I think him and Vikingo had match of the year so far. Although I will put a contender up there. I know you don't watch AEW, but Swerve and Osprey this Wednesday, uh, 2 days ago. Wow. Wow. Just wow.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta
I
say.
think with I think we're trying to, with being the wrestling enthusiast, I think I should explore all areas. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
WWE's my go-to. WCW was one of my go-tos before NWO added every person to the roster to their squad. So after that happened, I gave up on
Oh,
WCW.
hang on, y'all. Y'all gonna get a surprise here. Hang on.
Well,
I
we
know
got
who it is.
Andrew.
Hold on, Andy. Hold on, Andrew. Oh, he's muted and his camera's off. All right. But yeah, like I said, man, I think you should because especially with this show, you're the WB guy and I'm kind of the well-versed guy, which is fine. But if you want to watch some good wrestling, you watch AEW. If you want to watch good entertainment, you watch WWE. There's two separate things.
Right.
AEW is the better wrestling company. WWE is the better entertainment company.
Well, what nights is AEW shows? I know they're on like 3 nights a week, right?
Wednesday
Wednesday,
and
Friday, and weekends.
is Friday still a thing there? I thought
I'm
they canceled it, my guy.
sure. It's TNT, I think. TNT or TBS.
It's from the last time
TBS.
I heard, he's our analyst and Googler. That's why he has his monitor right
Ah,
here. That's his job. From what I heard, they canceled Rampage and now they're just doing Collision
Dynamite.
on
Yeah, Collision or
Saturdays
Dynamite. Yeah, Saturday. Sorry.
and Dynamite on Wednesdays. So 2 times a week.
All right, so I might explore my options on that one. I mean, a lot of
It's
those
worth a
guys
shot.
are former WWE people anyway, so I'll give them a round.
Yeah, it was not a bad show this week. I didn't watch the main event because the main event was dog shit. It didn't really serve anything to the purpose. But I don't know if you get a chance, go back and watch the Osprey and Swerve match. It was
Okay.
awesome. But
Let me give
overall,
let me give a recap on that real quick.
go ahead.
All right. The only thing that gets me when it comes to AEW matches is the fact there's too many no sells. After a bit, yeah, don't get me wrong, it's entertaining because those guys are talented as hell.
Mhm.
And they are as high flyer and they're strong as hell. They're athletic.
Yep.
But damn, man, there's only so many that you can no sell. And it's like, come on, it's starting to get a little unrealistic here. Because when someone's just flat out whooping the dog shit out of you after a bit and you keep no selling it, all right, it's starting to get a little unrealistic, but come on. And especially when Swerve all of a sudden just pulls out the damn stapler
So,
and starts stapling the shit out of people.
So did you watch this week, Andrew?
I did not, but I saw the recap online.
That match with those two, there was a couple of no-sell moments, but they were no-sell moments that made sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Where,
yeah.
like, with those two, I'm the biggest Osprey dick rider on the planet. I think he's the best wrestler in the world. I think he's the next thing since sliced bread, and I have been a fan of Swerve since fucking Hit Row. So to see those two,
they're both very talented. I will not take that away from them
just
one bit.
tear the absolute. Hold on, I'll tell y'all something, baby. Come here. This will tell you how good it was.
Uh-oh.
Is she gonna make an appearance?
I don't know if she's clothed. Hopefully.
Uh-oh.
All right. Okay. You're gonna make an appearance real quick because you're the outsider in this.
Got to see the death of Lakota here.
I said, okay. What was the best match for AEW for you? Who impressed you the most?
Oh yeah, because that was her first night of watching AEW, wasn't it?
Yeah, you were blown away by two people. Who were those two people? Can you remember their names?
Will Ospreay and Swerve.
Yep.
They were really good.
Guys, for the first time in her life, she was on her feet watching wrestling.
That's the way to do it.
AEW got her on her feet. But thank you. You're good now. Do you want a drink? Just take the rest. Just bring the bottle.
Tell her she needs to get rid of that Steelers stuff.
That's my dad. He's a Steelers fan.
Yeah, he loves it.
So shout out to you, Dad, but fuck your team. He's actually recovering from rotator cuff surgery, so I will take a moment and say, Dad, I love you. Thank you for everything you do. And you're one tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's no joke on that surgery. So
yeah, I'll tell y'all later. It was crazy. So overall, John was okay with the women's Money in the Bank. Andrew, you gave your opinion last week on it. It was fair. It was good. They did very well.
Yeah. Let's see. So we had that. We had
Dom and Pentagon Jr. was next, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was
Pentagon. Octagon. Sorry, guys. Pentagon.
Yeah, that's where I got up, went downstairs, made me something to eat. I really didn't watch that match.
It was fine for what it was. I enjoyed it. Octagon Jr. now has merch on WWE Shop. It's not who I love. I want to see Mr. Iguana this coming Monday on Monday Night.
Oh, yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
Hey, there's talk of him being that fourth person in the.
Nope.
It's Ilya Dragunov.
Nope.
It's Dragunov.
Oh, they confirmed it?
Adam Pearce. Nope. Adam Pearce already posted a video on all the platforms. Jey Uso's got the last spot.
God damn it.
Really?
Yep.
Why? You just had. Never mind. You have an opportunity to bring back Ilya fucking Dragunov, and you're just going to drop.
There's quite a few opportunities that could have been put there.
Dragunov's not 100% yet.
Okay, then what about Mr. Iguana? I'm sorry, but I'm a little upset with WWE and Jey Uso right now. I'm a little flustered.
Well, I had my opinion. I had seen an article, and I'm not going off of what anything Kevin said. Certain people say, but somebody tagged me to an article. Apparently, Jericho's been off AEW's contract for a few months, and it was rumored that he's looking for a return to WWE.
I don't think he's coming. He's on tour with Fozzy right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Another one that I'd read on Instagram, because I follow Ken Kennedy.
Yep.
He's looking for a return. So I kind of had this little thing in my head where Jericho or Ken Anderson was going to take that last spot, but Pierce came around.
I saw Joe Henry's name pop up.
Yeah.
I saw quite a few other names pop up, but with Uso taking that spot, what if it ends up being Sami Zayn and Jey Uso as the two finals?
Yep. You and I have the same mindset right there. Because when I seen Pierce announce Uso, I said, okay, so it looks like to me that the finals is going to be Jey versus Sami. Now, who wins? I've got my theories. I've got one theory that says Jey gets another crack at Gunther to win it. But then I got the other devil on the other shoulder saying Karrion Kross is going to get into Sammy's head. Sammy's going to cheat to win, turn on Jey, and he's going to be the one to dethrone Gunther. But I don't know. We'll find out soon enough.
That whole world title picture, and we'll get to it in a minute because that's going to be a whole section on itself, is a fucking mess right now.
That would be interesting to prevent Jey from becoming the worthless title holder conversation, and to prevent him from being the Kofi Kingston story repeat.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting to see him win King of the Ring, get another opportunity, and win it. But let's go back to Money in the Bank.
But so we had that Pentagon Junior match. We had then, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, Becky and Lyra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had Becky and Lyra. This match was probably, we talked about it last week, and of course Sean watched, so he knows what I'm going to say, was probably the worst match in Becky Lynch's career.
I didn't like the outcome. Again, Becky's had it all. Yes, I know she's never won the IC, but Lyra's new talent. You want the new talent. She's popular. Nobody likes Becky anymore.
No.
Nobody really likes Becky. So
I actually enjoy what she's doing, but I didn't want her to win the title.
No.
They like her more than they like Charlotte.
What's that?
They like her more than they really like Charlotte.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Charlotte's putting over people. So I got to give her credit on that.
Yeah, she does put over people. So you didn't like the outcome, John, right? You thought it was a waste.
Nope.
I thought this match was fine up until the end. Then they started botching a lot. It was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Becky won the title on a roll-up. Come on, man.
Shitty looking roll-up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And then after that, because I'm not going to spend much time on that, we done talked about it. I mean, it was a shitty looking roll-up, shitty finish, terrible finish. But after that was the men's Money in the Bank.
Okay. Again, going back to what I said, the briefcase is supposed to be a beacon for your new talent. Seth is seasoned enough to, he doesn't need the briefcase anymore. So you just wasted another opportunity all night again.
You know, man, and I've said this for years. If they were going to pull the trigger on him, it would have been when he was in his first Money in the Bank, not, 2 years in a row pretty much, basically just losing it. I used to be a big LA Knight fan, but now it's like he's just another bitch on the show. Yes.
Well,
he's calling me? Yeah. Hang on, y'all. Continue talking while I take this phone call.
No, LA Knight.
What's up, Boost?
I can't. I like the guy. I think what he's got going on right now with Braun and Bronson and Seth, I think it's going to go more into depth. I think he's going to cost Bronson his King of the Ring opportunity on Monday. But yeah, I'm very disappointed in the outcome of that match.
You think it's going to be more of a payback or a I deserve the shot instead of you type situation?
Who are you talking about? Is in Seth?
No, with Knight.
Now, what I missed it because I had
more
to call from JR, but what are we saying here about?
No, just talking about how, Seth is seasoned enough to where he didn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase again. He didn't need it. Knight is the guy they should have pulled the trigger on. And I agree with you, they should have pulled it on him last year. But out of everybody that was in that Money in the Bank, who else did we have in there? Andrade, everybody knew Andrade wasn't going to win. Gable wasn't going to win. Who else was in that match?
If Gable won it, he would have passed out.
Oh, sure.
The adrenaline would have run so high, he would have fallen off the damn ladder and just collapsed.
Yeah, so I mean, who else did we have in that? Solo would have been the only other guy on that match card that you could have done something with. Penta, again, no disrespect to him, but I'm just not a fan. But yeah, I don't know. I'm totally disgusted with them giving it.
The only thing I could have seen with Penta though is to build the brand for AAA.
Mm-hmm. Sure, that's it.
Because I made the comment during Worlds Collide, if Penta had won it, or whoever had won it, if Chad had won it, would he have gone after the title on
the AAA Mega
AAA
Championship
brand?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would that be a title you could go for with the Money in the Bank, or would it strictly be a WWE World Heavyweight or WWE Championship title to go for, or NXT, depending on which, who they storyline they wanted to go with?
I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna piss a lot of the internet marks off, but the reason that Penta didn't win is because they know it would piss the internet marks off. The reason that he didn't win and the reason that Chad didn't win is because if they did go that way, which fans with common sense like me, John, and yourself, that's awesome. It's not a waste of the briefcase, in my opinion. It's putting AAA on the map. It's giving another storyline for whoever wants to go after it.
Yeah.
But to the general audience, they would have lost their fucking minds.
Right.
Because to the general audience, this is the first time that they're seeing AAA. Like ever.
Yeah.
They don't even know that AAA and CMLL exist. So
yeah,
that's why I feel like Chad or Penta didn't get it. As far as Seth winning it, in my opinion, I'm not too mad at it. I'm not too upset with it because I think we've held this briefcase in such high regard, and they've wasted the last 2 years, guys. Me and Andrew were talking about this in the Discord. They wasted the last 2 years. So at the end of the day, who really cares?
Well, I wouldn't. I'm not going to say that Priest was a wasted Money in the Bank winner.
He was.
I think it was a waste them having him drop the title as quick as they did.
I think he was a complete and utter waste. Because considering LA Knight was in that match that he won, was he not?
Yeah, I think so.
So there you go. Drew McIntyre won it the year before him.
Yeah, that was a waste. I mean, well, it wasn't a waste, but the whole him, getting screwed out of it was the access point to him and Punk's feud.
Yeah. So it's becoming more of this let's put this on somebody and then just give them the world title because that's the easy way out. And it's been that way for the past couple of years. So I wasn't really upset about it because I expected it.
Well, they started that nonsense during COVID when they gave it to Otis. I mean, you and I both have agreed 100 times over. Aleister Black should have been that one to win it that year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say I'm mad at WWE. I think with Knight's popularity, I think they should have pulled the trigger.
All right. Well, that's the thing. They should have pulled the trigger on him years ago. Another thing I want to talk about in this match, and I want to get your opinion on, Jacob Fatu turning on Solo. How do you think that came across, and was it done very well?
Everyone's seen it coming. After it just reminded me of back in 2005 Evolution, where Ric Flair and Triple H were talking behind Batista's back, and it was caught. exactly. So it was coming. Everyone's seen it was coming. We've seen it. We've seen it before. We've seen it coming before, even before that segment happened. We've been seeing it. We've been seeing it for months now. Jacob was going to break out. Jacob's probably the top. Well, other than Jey Uso, I think Jacob's probably your most popular superstar on the roster. So why keep him in a faction? Let him go solo. He's gonna be your champ. I give it a year. He's gonna be champ.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's gonna be too quick of a push, in my opinion.
Reports
Like
are
put him
saying,
in there for the running, but give him a little bit longer with other titles, but keep him. Don't let him have the actual top championship belt yet.
if he does
No.
take that belt, if he does win the belt, there's only one person he needs to win it off of.
Roman.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
that has to be a retirement match.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing that I want to talk about, and reports are saying that the company is very high on Solo. Very high on Solo. And
Oh, dude, he's hilarious. I mean, why not? And he's a good wrestler.
Yeah. He's not the best one of the family, I will say that, but
no,
in terms of in-ring ability, I think right now that's probably Jacob Fatu in terms of in-ring ability. But
all gas, no brakes for a reason.
yeah, 300 pounds and doing those moonsaults the way he does. Yeah, I'd agree.
He's incredible.
The whole sport has evolved, just like in basketball. At one point, big guys were not making threes, and now you got big guys doing somersaults and people like Otis out here doing the worm or whatever, and diving over the top rope. Like, how did the guys that are the super heavyweights start jumping around like fucking luchadors?
Yeah.
Well, Rikishi started that. I mean, Rikishi was doing that shit off the top rope too. So,
well, yeah, but they saw him do it. Like, fuck it, I can do it too.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was my thoughts. I thought that it was time, and I liked the fact that he grabbed his leg, and instead of saying "I love you, Solo," I hate
you, Solo.
It was very well done. I thought the spinning solo in terms of symbolism through the ladder was really cool. And I just can't wait to see him and my boys God tear it up over on SmackDown.
Well, see, I'm a little concerned for Solo a little bit.
I
don't know who I heard it from, and it wasn't that one person. But that landing on the ladder he took, I read that he got a little banged up from that. So I'm hoping it's nothing serious.
Well, as long as he doesn't pull a Jeff Hardy, he should be okay.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Are we talking about taking painkillers afterwards or doing stupid shit? Which one?
Well, a bit of both.
Yeah.
Because one's going to lead to the other.
But with Knight, though, yeah, you're right. They should have pulled the trigger on him a while back. If they don't pull it between now and the Royal Rumble, well, let me rephrase that. If they don't pull it between now and Elimination Chamber, I'd tell him pack his bags and go on to AEW because they'll use him.
It's interesting. All right, after the Money in the Bank was the incredible main event. I thought arguably this was match of the night.
Yeah, I was happy with that match. R-Truth.
You better put some respect on his name.
On his name. No.
They definitely. I don't know what to believe, whether it was a work. I've heard different things, but they pulled one on us. They got us with that.
A work. 1,000%. 1,000%, because you're not going to let him come back with that much momentum, and then all of a sudden they had to scramble. Oh, well, let's cut your hair. Let's call you Ron Killings. They had this in the plan for months. I would almost
full character.
Yep.
24/7.
Yep.
And he's perfect with this.
Yep. And I would say they had it in place as soon as Cena won the title. Because Go ahead. I guarantee you when Cena came back and they laid out his retirement tour, he said, I want to work with R-Truth because R-Truth has always been kind of that background character to Cena. He's, our true childhood hero. So you're not gonna make me believe for 1 second that because the fans say, well, we want Ron Killings back. Oh, well, let's go get Ron Killings and let's cut his hair and let's have him act like this on social media. No, it was 100% of work.
So let me ask you this. I've run into this thing with Killings. So would it be right to say he could be the one to dethrone Cena, even if it's for a month?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, my other thing is we all know that this heel Cena is not going to last much longer.
Mm-mm.
I think that R-Truth is going to be the one to bring face Cena back.
Yeah. He's going to beat the shit out of him until he becomes a babyface again.
He said, I'm going to beat the hustle, loyalty, and respect back into you.
Yep.
But here's the thing. But if he's the one to bring Cena back as face, will Cena be that one to bring Truth back?
No.
I don't think we see R-Truth. I won't say ever again, but I don't think we see R-Truth until R-Truth induction into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. That is when we'll get to see Truth back. And you know who will induct him in the Hall of Fame?
John
Cena.
Cena.
Little Jimmy.
Oh my God.
Ah, yes, little
Jimmy would do it.
Yeah.
I think what they're doing with him and we'll jump over to Raw here in a second, but I do want to talk about this main event. The biggest standout to me was Logan Paul.
Yes.
That dude is fucking awesome.
Yes.
And the fact, I don't know if you guys watch his YouTube, but I watch it occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
when he said,
since he's gotten a little smarter and older, yes.
Yeah. He said, motherfucker, I thought I broke my shins.
Yeah.
And he took that spot when he jumped off because that was far. You couldn't see how far it was on TV, but it was fucking far.
What are you talking about? The moonsault?
Yeah. That supposedly broke some of Jay's ribs.
Yeah. That's what I read on why. Well, we'll touch on this.
That's an excuse for the internet marks that don't want to admit that WWE just buried Jay Uso. But that was very far. And I watched Impulsive, and I'm going to go watch his vlog about it here soon. He said, man, I thought I broke my shins. But the reason that he was dead set on it, he took it to John Cena that day and was like, hey, do you think I want to do this? And John Cena looked dead at him and goes, you can't make that jump. Because he knew Logan couldn't make that jump. And he knew that if Logan was scared to do the jump, he wasn't going to do the jump. So John Cena and he's done that with multiple people over the years. He did it with Sami Zayn. He did it with Kevin Owens. When Kevin Owens first brought up John Cena, a lot of people don't talk about it because we like to talk about how he's, this Ultron Super Cena, but he has helped a lot of people in the current roster to be as good as they are.
Yep.
So that to me is a standout. And if Logan, I'm going to say it now, and it's going to get a lot of, oh my God, Logan Paul will win a world championship within the next year.
If he goes to full time, yes, I'll agree with that. But if he stays part time, I can't see it. I just can't see it.
No, but I
don't want him getting in unless he's going to be full time.
Right.
Because he is not. If he was Brock Lesnar, I could be okay with that because Brock Lesnar can have the Brock Lesnar schedule and be fine with it. Logan is not Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. But I just see it, guys. I see the writing on the wall. It's happening soon. I don't know when it's happening, but it's happening. And I'm not upset about it because he's proven himself to be an athlete and to be a superstar.
He is.
It's not like a Bad Bunny situation where you have 2 matches and then you're done.
Which is a shame.
I'll give him that.
Well, that's a shame with the Bunny because Bunny could do it in the ring, dude.
Yeah, that's the thing though. He's more like and I will say this: he put time in and he put on 2 great matches, but he's had 2 matches. 2 matches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, that was the best match of the night. I thought the finish was perfect. I thought they gave us that ECW spot, man, where they were just like, classic ECW swerve spot where the dude comes out in a hoodie, beats the shit out of somebody, and then oh my god, that's R-Truth.
Well, that's just it. I mean, like the moment he came out there, you couldn't see his skin color. So once he hit
Until
that
he
spear,
tackled him, and we all knew who it was.
well, yeah, once he hit that spear, you seen kind of the part of his back, and I was like, okay, so I know it's not like Oba because Oba's a lot bigger.
Mm.
I was really shocked, and like I said, I kind of you said that the whole stuff with Truth, internet mark people. I just wasn't expecting him to be there back
Nobody
that
was.
quick.
Nobody was.
I mean, they went back to the days before we had internet and you could get spoiled before the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And we all got flat out surprised like we used to. And that was one of the reasons that we always got the pay-per-views is because we never knew who to expect.
Yeah.
Right.
What surprise were we going to get that we were all going to talk about the next morning on the way to school or the next day, wherever we were at?
Do we know if they signed him to a Legends deal? Has that been confirmed, or did he get a full-time contract?
Who, Truth?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything about a Legends contract.
Because he should have one. If fucking Hornswoggle can have one, R-Truth deserves one.
Same with Lana. Why? I mean, what? I still question that. Why sign her to a Legend contract? She hadn't even shown her face.
Because
she's not
Miro.
She's not even a legend.
Because
Lana's not even a legend.
Mm-mm. But because of Rusev.
Yes. Ron Killians, also known as R-Truth, has signed a special WWE contract that is not standard active talent deal, but rather one that allows him a final run with the company.
So he's done after.
Although it's not a traditional Legends contract, it shares some similarities.
So it given that kind of info on that tells me he may be the one to dethrone Cena. I would like it.
I would cry out of happiness. But I thought it was really good. I thought Money in the Bank was a really good show. But moving on to Raw, we're going to talk about Raw. The first thing I want to talk about, I'll leave the big talking point for the closing of the show because I'm sure we'll be here for 30 minutes fucking screaming it to the fucking heavens. At least I will be. The moment with R-Truth, this Raw was good, but it didn't really have anything up until the end to make people talk. But if you just tune into Raw, that Ron Killing segment was just enough for you to watch Raw.
Well, the opening segment with Punk and Cena, I thought was a great promo.
That was very good. I forgot about
great
that.
Promo.
Yeah, very good.
Do I think Punk takes the title from Cena at Clash? No way. They don't. If you watch the overseas pay-per-views, I think the last one that title changed hands was when Goldberg buried Bray Wyatt.
Fuck you, Bill Goldberg.
Dude, I hated that. But yeah, so do I think Punk dethroned Cena at Clash? No way. No way.
No.
I hope not.
But that R-Truth segment, I was really good. Like, John's not a TNA guy. You didn't watch TNA a lot. I don't know if you've ever seen TNA, but that whole promo was Ron Killings from TNA. Ron the Truth Killings from TNA. He even said the TNA catchphrase, "I'm the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth." And I lost my mind.
Put the respect up. Yeah, I used to get into TNA.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I stopped watching it when they did that whole Aces and Eights thing. I got bored with that.
That was getting pretty good at first, but after a bit, it got kind of old.
That freaking Aces and Eights storyline is awesome. Up until
it was at the beginning, but when everybody started joining, then I was like, yeah, this is NWO all over again.
Yep, it was TNA's NWO.
Yep.
But like, I don't know. I just feel like this was really good because he cut his hair. Like that was his.
You saw how quickly Wade Barrett got the hell out of the way too. As soon as those scissors came out of that man's pocket.
Yeah, he was.
Like, he thought he was gonna stab some damn body.
No idea what kind of nut had dropped out of that man's brain and what he was gonna be doing with them scissors.
Well, because Wade Barrett. Let's talk about Wade Barrett for a second. Wade Barrett is so underrated as a wrestler and as a commentator.
Yeah.
Bro, he adds. He's like Michael Cole, but a watered down version of Michael Cole.
Yep.
Because that little mannerisms where he just jumped out of the way let us know, oh shit, this ain't R-Truth no more. This is Ron Killings. This is the
Yep.
gangster from North Carolina who will fuck you up in a hurry if you look at him the wrong way. So Wade Barrett did a great job there. I thought the symbolism between I'm cutting my hair and that was pretty much R-Truth's grave at that point. And I thought it was really well done. And I can't wait to watch next week to see what he does. I guess we can, because nothing else happened on Raw that you guys can think of a moment that happened, right? Other than that, the Cena stuff.
I mean, just the Money in the Bank, or not the Money in the Bank, the King of the Ring or
Yeah.
Queen of the Ring matches. That was really it.
And we got
I
Roxanne.
am curious to see how
Mhm.
since what's her face won that match by pinning Liv Morgan, how that's going to
Affects Judgment Day.
transpire within Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Because I'm still waiting to see when is Finn Balor going to turn and beat the dog shit out of
Dom
Guerrero.
Yeah,
Dom
Which
Guerrero.
I'm sorry, I can't call him Dom Mysterio anymore. It's Dom Guerrero.
No, we can't call him Mysterio because he's not a Mysterio.
But I want to get let me go back 1 second to the Money in the Bank men's match. The one thing I'm really disappointed in with that match is who are we expecting to show up?
I mean, we were kind of who showed up.
I was expecting Roman to pop in and cost Seth winning that briefcase.
Yeah.
The only way I was expecting Roman to show up is if Seth tried to cash in.
Right.
That's the only time I'm really expecting him to show up anytime soon, is if there's an actual cash-in attempt.
I feel like they're saving him for Saudi Arabia because the Saudi Arabia people that are under those shows are very finicky. I mean, the first show they did, they asked for fucking Andre the Giant and Yokozuna. They had no idea that they were dead. So
yeah,
I think they're going to save Roman just because he's the biggest name in professional wrestling currently. They'll save him for that Saudi Arabia show.
Okay, so what's next on the Raw?
I guess we can talk about the main event because nothing else other than Roxanne advancing and Sammy advancing in the Queen and King of the Ring tournament.
Unless you want to talk about Nikki Bella showing up, but
yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Did y'all see how she pronounced Stephanie Becker's name?
Yeah, I can't remember, but it was weird.
Oh my God! Listen,
talk about a botch job.
Y'all want to talk about some beautiful titties to look at and a beautiful face? Absolutely.
I mean,
Come on my
she's
TV.
always had that.
But she's an airhead.
Come on my TV every week. But this is coming from the same woman in freaking, when was it when Vader got inducted? Said, I can't wait to hear Vader's Hall of Fame speech. And Vader died in 2018. And he got inducted in like what, the 2019 Hall of Fame or 2020, something like that. And she was like, I can't wait to hear his speech. If you're going to be a part of a company, at least act like you give a shit about the company that gave you your name.
Hey, maybe they did tell her just be an airhead.
I don't know.
Maybe they told her. Maybe they told her to be that stupid.
I mean, I don't know. I think if you watch Total Divas, I think that's not a word.
I mean, maybe she took it too far too, but still, I mean,
she's financial. But yeah, that was just to me, and for Liv Morgan to come out, I think this clearly set up a match for Saudi Arabia.
Already outside.
I think it clearly set up that match for Saudi Arabia. For Liv and what's her name? Nikki Bella. I forgot her damn name. To have a match at Saudi Arabia. So that's what I'm expecting. Other than that, I don't think it was a problem in terms of other than her butchering whoever the fuck she wanted to deal with. Like, it was just awful. It was an awful segment. Liv Morgan come out kind of made no sense. I was expecting like a Rhea Ripley or somebody like that, but
Rhea would destroy her in a heartbeat.
Well, yeah, but we haven't seen that match just like we haven't seen her and Liv one on one. But other than that, like I
True.
guess we can talk about the elephant in the room. And I
Huh.
haven't I got both of y'all on here. Only person we don't got on here right now is JR, and I'm sure he'll get his take in another episode at some point. They buried Jey Uso. Agree or disagree?
Yeah. Uh, enough said. Enough said. Um, I have
You-
my I have my theories on this King of the Ring stuff. Before Adam Pearce announced Jay as the last surprise entrant,
Mm-hmm.
I really, really, really thought that maybe Sammy would be the one to win it, and they'd give him the Daniel Bryan treatment ordeal.
I still think he might be the one to win it.
No, I don't think so. Hear me out on this. All right, so where's the Rumble at next year?
Saudi Arabia.
Yes, it's in
The
Riyadh.
Rumble's in Saudi Arabia?
Yes. Sammy's very popular out there.
Yeah.
So why not do a story to where he wins the Rumble in Riyadh and then he wins the title at WrestleMania, maybe?
But who does he face at Mania for it to make sense?
Probably Gunther.
So you're saying Gunther's going to hold this belt until
No.
April?
I
No.
hope not. Because
No, because I think
It's-
sorry, I think Seth's gonna cash in on him. Because I think Seth wants that belt more than he wants a WWE.
he wants the WWE belt.
Hear me out. Who has been trying to get Sammy to turn and join them?
Cross.
Frost.
Exactly. But who has beat the shit out of him week to week? And who has a faction on Raw?
Seth and Braun and Bronson.
Exactly. So what if Sammy wins King of the Ring? We get him and Gunther at SummerSlam. He wins at SummerSlam, and we're all happy
And then-
for him. And then
and then
Seth
Seth
cashes
cashes
in
in.
on Sammy.
Well, then if that happens, then I would probably put my money on Punk winning the Rumble and getting the title shot against Seth at Mania.
Yep, that's where I was going. But yeah, guys, we only have what, like 18 more dates with Cena, so we got crunch time here. It's coming up on crunch time for Cena's retirement tour. And other than this R-Truth stuff, like where does he go from here? I know he's got Cody and stuff, but like after this R-Truth stuff is done, where does he go from here, or is that where he ends his run?
What's the all right here? What is the only thing that Cena hasn't done in his career?
Win the Intercontinental Championship?
Exactly.
He's not gonna. He doesn't care about that.
No,
I
he don't care.
seriously doubt he cares about it. He was more concerned about getting 17 world championships than anything else.
And ruining professional wrestling.
Yep.
Like JR keeps saying, "Oh, he's gonna win it. He's gonna win it." No, he ain't. He don't care. If he does, that's great. That's awesome. But he doesn't care. If you guys pay attention to the storyline, which I know John and Andrew and JR do, Cena's whole thing is, as a heel, he's pissed off at us.
Yep.
Because now we're giving him his flowers, right? But where were we in 2014 when Cena was kind of having a good run and then he lost at SummerSlam to Brock Lesnar in a squash match? Where were we then? Where were we saying, hey, this guy's great. He's, awesome. Thank you for everything. But now that we know he's leaving and he's retired, we're all like, oh, we love you, Cena. Thank you so much.
Does he have a SummerSlam match?
Who, Cena? It's not been
Yeah.
announced yet. So I think
Because
that
he doesn't have the greatest record with SummerSlam matches.
Yeah.
I'd be cautious to have one.
Well, let's see. Did he have a match last year?
no.
He hasn't
Did
had
he
a
have
SummerSlam match in a while.
Yeah, I think the last one he had was Austin Theory.
No, that was WrestleMania.
Was that WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
Well, shit. When was his last SummerSlam? Oh my.
Was it Brock?
Was it 2017 AJ?
Hold on. Googling.
I thought it might have been Roman.
Yeah. That's the 2021 SummerSlam with Roman. Yeah.
Well, so then, okay, all right.
Yeah, when he lost to Roman Reigns, he came back to try to break his streak. Yep, it was Roman.
Yep. And he lost that match.
Yep.
He does not have the best record at SummerSlam, so maybe
No,
that's
he did
where
not.
we pull the trigger with
Or this might be the one time he actually does win at SummerSlam.
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm excited for the future and seeing where this goes. I'm very interested in, do they pull the trigger with R-Truth, or do you think it would be like a pity title reign? Like, oh, you've been here for so long and everybody loves you. Here you go.
Or does he pull a Punk and it's his last day with the contract, walk his ass out with the title?
That's what I want to see. And the only reason I want to see that is because that WWE Championship design currently right now is the worst title design in professional wrestling history, right next to the 24/7 championship.
They need to bring back
more than anybody else.
They need to bring the Winged Eagle back.
That's what I'm saying. Give us a revamped version of the Winged Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's all y'all need to do. Get rid of that shitty ass gold background that you got on your shitty world title and put it as the Winged Eagle again.
Or hell, bring back the undisputed title from where, Hogan and Undertaker held in 2002. I like that version.
I do too, but Cena's whole thing is about starting over. You're going to have to start over with a brand new championship. If they bring back the Winged Eagle, they're not going to have to start over. You got the lineage right there. Hogan, Hart, Yokozuna, you have the lineage with that championship. So that's an easy layup for them.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that Cena made comment on back when he was feuding with Orton a few months ago. How he was, telling Orton, well, if you win, you're not going to be 15-time champ. You're going to be one time. Like the count started over again. No, the count never start over. You lose it, the next person gets it. Whether it's, Cody be a 2-time champ. It ain't no count starts over again. That ain't how it works.
He was saying that if he leaves, Randy's going to have to start over again. You won't be no 15-time champion because you're going to have to start over at 1, because when I'm gone, this is coming with me. And they didn't clarify that very well in that promo, but that's what Cena meant. He was telling him that when I leave, you're going to have to start over. There is no 15-time world champion because they're going to have to bring in a new championship that's not the real championship, and you're going to have to start over at 1 because I'm going to ruin your life. I'm going to ruin your family's legacy, and I'm going to ruin professional wrestling. That was the whole promo. That they got that across very weird. I thought the same thing as you. I was like, wait, starting over? But then I went back and listened to it, and he was saying, yeah, when I win, when I walk out of here, because you're not going to beat me. When I walk out of here, there will be no Randy Orton holding 15 world titles because you'll have to start over at 1. Because everybody will have to start over at 1 because I'm the last real world champion. And I thought the match with Orton was fine. But back to Jey Uso, man, this to me, just, I don't know. Rikishi is very hot. If you guys watch his podcast, Off the Top with Rikishi, is very hot right now. He that TikTok I sent that it wouldn't load for John. He said, Cena wouldn't have a 51-day reign. Orton wouldn't have a 51-day reign. But I can say this. He's just bitching because it's his kid.
Sure.
He wasn't bitching when Roman was losing that Intercontinental Championship and, the Usos were stuck in purgatory for so long. He wasn't bitching back then. But because his kid lost the world title, he's bitching. Because he's like, well, that's my kid. I'm going to bitch about it. You didn't bitch back when Roman held the title for 1,000 days and then lost to Cody. You didn't bitch back then, but because it's a 51-day reign and it's your kid, you're going to be all upset about it.
Yeah, I mean,
granted, they buried the shit out of Jey Uso. I don't think his stock is going to be the same ever again. I genuinely don't, because the rumors are that they're trying to get him and Jimmy back together to go after the tag titles. And if that happens, cool. That's awesome because they are my favorite tag team of all time. I think they're probably the greatest tag team of all time, in my opinion. So I'm not too upset about that. But this whole yeet movement, 4 letters, one word, you know, was a waste because he's
That's
out.
5 letters.
Huh?
That's 5 letters. Waste.
Oh,
Nah,
but to me, it was a waste, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'm very pissed off.
all I can say is if they do not have Jay win King of the Ring and reclaim that title back at SummerSlam, I
Mhm.
agree with you. Waste.
But here's the thing: wouldn't that be a waste of King of the Ring and a waste of Jay's first title reign?
And realistically, it'd be a waste of his first title reign because why have him lose it for a month and a half? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hell, not even
Yeah.
a month.
Well, you got SummerSlam is August, so I mean,
Okay, yeah. I thought we were
two
talking about Clash.
2 months. You're 2 months tops.
But okay, then who does Gunther face? Oh my God, I know who they're gonna have him face, and I know you said he wasn't 100%.
Who?
But
Dragunov?
yeah, there's rumors that he's been at the PC, man, and he's ready to go.
What for Clash?
Yeah, he's been there working for the
Yeah,
past couple weeks.
yeah,
So
but again, they're not gonna. I don't think that you're gonna see any title changes at Clash.
no,
It has to be something big for them to change titles at overseas. Like I said, they fucked it up the one time having Goldberg squash Bray
they didn't fuck
was
that up. I could
stupid.
make that a whole episode. I mean, for fuck's sake, people, I can make a
Yeah.
whole episode. My firstborn child's name will be Bray Christopher. I can make a whole episode about the whole Bray Wyatt situation and how they buried him too. But I'm not gonna do that. That'll be a topic for another day. I don't know, guys. I'm very interested to see where this goes. I know, Andrew, how do you feel about the Jay Uso situation? And did you feel very pissed off, or are you?
He's got to have some redemption somewhere and
Mhm.
validate his title reign. He needs
Mhm.
another one, or he's going to be down the same slope as Great Khali and Kofi Kingston, and um, it's not the way he wants to be remembered. As one of the most popular Samoans that have been in the business today, um, if they don't correct the mistake they've made, then if they think they're having issues now with tickets being sold because of pricing, they're going to have a lack of tickets being sold because fans are just going to show their way of saying "fuck you."
Yeah.
And if they thought that fans revolted because of the issue with R-Truth, whether it's run killings, if they think it's the story, it was all part of this, even though we all know it was the fans getting their way of showing them we're pissed off. You better bring him back. Hopefully they can do the same thing for Jay's career. But I hope that he can take this time to rest, though. If he really was tired, he can get a little bit of time to recover, whatever. I mean, because he hasn't been getting the dog shit whooped out of him recently, but he's been a fighting champion for the time that he was the champ. And the time that he was fighting his way to get the belt. I think he's been a great champ. I would love to see him have multiple reigns, but this first one, way too short.
The problem with this,
Yeah.
Way
Well,
too damn short.
the only way they're gonna solidify it is having him win King of the Ring. That's the only way.
but the problem with this belt to me, and you guys can agree or disagree, it hasn't been notable since Seth won it and went on that tear as champion.
What are you talking about? Seth's first reign?
Yeah, the first and only reign that he's had with that current world
Oh,
title.
with the world heavy okay. I thought
With
you
the
was
new
talking about
version, well, he got it when it was the new, with the way it.
Yep, he was the inaugural world.
he was the
heavyweight champion.
inaugural champ.
Yeah.
He beat
But he
AJ
was the
Styles.
one who made it the fighting champ with that belt. So
And it hasn't been that since he won it and
Yeah.
lost it. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, he's been a great champion, but name one worthy title defense other than the ones against Gunther. Name one that you can remember that's like, oh, that was a good match. Or, oh, yeah, I remember this.
All right, so Seth won it. Drew took it from him at WrestleMania last year.
I'm
And
talking
then
about strictly Jey Uso's reign. Name one
Oh,
match
okay.
other than the Gunther stuff that you can remember that was like, damn, that was really good and really entertaining.
Well, I don't think he's had any.
No. Nobody other than Seth Rollins has had memorable matches for that world championship while they have been champion. Nobody. And that's
Well,
my big gripe about this belt. It doesn't feel like a world heavyweight championship. It feels like a fucking intercontinental championship, block A championship.
Yeah.
well, when Priest had it, who was he? Who did Priest feud with? Wasn't that with Drew?
It was with Drew. I'm pretty sure he feuded with Seth a couple times. Balor had it fucking 3 world title matches and didn't fucking win. At some point, no, because he never had a world title match because he's the one that cost Priest the championship. So that title to me, like I just said, feels like a fucking. Oh, you're here. Here's your pity party. You were bitching about Roman not being on TV enough. Here's a world championship, and the only person
Yeah.
that made it feel like a world title was Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Seth. Since they came up with that new belt, Seth and Jay are the only ones to show up every week.
Yeah.
Whether it's to cut a promo or to have a match, non-titled or titled. Seth and Jay were the only ones that done it. I mean, Drew didn't hold it long enough. I mean, Priest showed up every week. He wasn't having matches every week, but yeah, it's very few.
Like, man, that's my problem. Like I'm not discrediting Jey Uso as a champion, but he didn't do shit with the belt, just like Cody didn't do shit with the belt his first run.
Yeah, but that's not on Jay. That's on booking.
Well, then book him like, if you're going to treat him like a world champion, book him like fucking one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. Like, people are like, oh, you just hate. I love Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is one of my favorite, currently, and I will always have an endearment to him because of what he started with AEW. He gave us that alternative. Him and the Bucks and Omega gave us the alternative when WWE was dog shit, and they were
Yeah.
actually good. So I'll always have a flag for Cody Rhodes. I'll fight for Cody Rhodes, but he didn't do shit with his first title run. Didn't do shit up until he lost it. The best moment he had was when he won it at Mania, and then when he lost it to Cena, and when he made Cena turn heel. That's what Cody Rhodes' title reign will be remembered for.
Well, see, with Cody, like, I don't know. I may have been one of those people that during Roman's almost 4-year reign, I was just so ready for him to fucking lose it. I was like, dude, there's so many others that deserve this title that's going to be there every week and not win by disqualification and not win by this. So the night that Cody won the title, I was super excited.
Yeah.
But
We all were.
24 hours later on Raw, he opened Raw and they did a Cody segment for almost an hour of him talking. And I was done with his reign right then and there. I was like, this is going to be a boring fucking reign. This is going to be boring. And it was boring.
Yeah. See, I'm not mad at the fact of promos and after promos and, after title reign promos, because if you're like somebody like Cody Rhodes and somebody like Jey Uso did the same thing. He was on Raw and he talked for a fucking hour. But if you're there for 15 fucking years and you finally grab that imaginary brass ring and pull it down and show them, yeah, I'm your guy now. By God, you deserve that hour. Just like Cody Rhodes deserved that hour, I will agree with you. After that, I kind of felt like, okay, this is going to be boring as hell. Because the storyline, and I love Cody Rhodes, but the storyline leading up to that was all about his daddy. Oh, my daddy didn't win this. I gotta cry for my daddy.
Yeah.
And now, it was all about Dusty. And then when he won it, what else did Cody have? Other than, I did it for my dad. It's always been, and I was thinking about JR's comment about Cody last week about me and him arguing. He was right. the more and more I think about it, the only reason that Cody Rhodes was a top guy and has got that spot is because Triple H was Dusty Rhodes' bitch.
Dude,
Mm.
as soon as JR hears this, he's going to have one hell of a hard on.
I'm just going to say it right now for you to hear it, Mr. Living Legend JR Sparrow. You were correct. The more and more I sit here and think about it, and the more and more I look at his title reign, the only reason that he won that world title in the first place was because he was over, and Triple H has always been Dusty's bitch. Always.
Yep.
And so they milked it for everything they could for Dusty. I mean, for Christ's sakes, after the match, they found the Rolex that Dusty pawned for Cody to go to acting school and gave it to him backstage.
Now, I got to admit, that's pretty badass, the fact that they took the time to find that.
It was.
So that's pretty cool.
It was. But to me, it was more of a company move than a personal move. You know what I mean? Like, if it was a personal move, no cameras would have been back there.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, here, we don't want this to be documented. You can talk about it at the press conference and let them know. But right now, this is our moment. This is,
right.
You know, if I'm Triple H, I would have walked up to Cody and say, hey, I'm so proud of you. Your dad would be proud of you. I have you a gift. Here, take it. And then that would have been fine. Talk about it as a press conference. But to have cameras all around it, it was synonymous. Yep. Well, we gave Dusty's kid the belt. Oh, and we're going to do another thing. We're going to give him Dusty's watch. You see what I'm saying? It frustrates me with Cody because now I know, because I was a fan of dashing Cody Rhodes. Nobody remembers or gives a shit about dashing Cody Rhodes. His theme song alone is a fucking banger.
Yeah, I was a fan of dashing, and I was a big fan of when he did the whole Rhodes Scholars thing with Damian Sandow.
Yes, Cody Rhodes has been good for years, but WWE ever since he released himself came back, and it was just man, he's Dusty's kid, and I think that's the only way they'll look at him, and it pisses me off. But I know it's late. We got SmackDown coming up here in a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and close this episode. I want to thank you guys, Mr. Andrew, my analyst, my main man, one of my best friends. I mean, genuinely, I enjoy every time I get on here with y'all. And I don't talk about that a lot, but wrestling, I didn't know these two. I had no idea who they were a few months back. And here we are starting this amazing podcast. And we hop in Discord John's not there because he has work and everything. But we hop in Discord every Monday and Friday. And we sit there, and sometimes we don't even talk about wrestling. It's about life. Yep. Wrestling, to those people who say, well, wrestling's just fake or whatever, it's going to taint my kid. Wrestling builds lifelong friendships. And this podcast is proof of it. So I want to thank John and I want to thank Andrew for coming back on the show. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to doing more with you guys. If you guys like what you saw here, please don't forget, you guys have a comment section, man. I've been looking at our analytics. No comments, but we're getting views, but no comments. So please give us your feedback. We have a YouTube channel, Main Event Mafia. I can put the link in the description of the Spotify. Go there. We only have 2 subscribers right now, so we're climbing up there. Spotify, of course, most of you are probably watching this on Spotify. So don't forget to leave your comments, leave your feedback, and we will catch you guys next week for the next episode of Main Event Mafia. Thank you guys for tuning in.